All right. Book of the Silver Bow. Scriptures come in many tongues. They serve different purposes and vary in value, but each suits and serves a group of people in a particular stage of spiritual development. Lessons of an infant are as essential to its future as are the lessons of an older child. Each scripture gives a glimpse of the light of spiritual revelation from a different viewpoint. But in each case, the light is the same, for there is only one light of truth. Book of the Silver Bow, preserved by the hand of Gwynder Apoen. Chapter 1. Interpretations. Scriptures such as these, no matter how pure the original inspiration poured out from the divine spiritual fountainhead, they still have to pass through fallible human hands. This could lead to differences of interpretation and discord among the readers, things most undesirable, where harmony and unity are to be the rule. To avoid all such differences and for the sake of accord and unity, the interpretation of these scriptures must be restricted to conform with the following rules. Interpretation must accord with authentic traditions. It must accord with reason and experience, faith never contending with reason, though it is realized and acknowledged that the nature of life being as it is, many things have to be accepted and undertaken without logical explanations. The continuance of life beyond the veil of death may not appear to accord with worldly experience and reason, yet it does, but there is a law prohibiting any assurance of this. Such things have to be accepted, therefore worldly experience cannot be taken as the yardstick in this instance, as in many other instances. Apart from worldly experiences, there are spiritual experiences, which cannot be known and understood by the many. What is told of these must be accepted in faith by those unwilling to devote the time and undergo the austerities and discipline necessary to know at first hand. Only another twice-born one is in a position to disagree about such a matter, and therefore all others should be content to leave it in their hands. Higher points of doctrine should be left to those competent to deal with them, but when lesser points are in dispute, then the outcome must accord with reason, and if any one explanation is to be accepted, it must be discovered rationally. All differences of opinion are to be settled by a majority of those competent to judge, and all reasons for supporting or disagreeing with any decision must be placed in record. Whenever there is a meeting among brothers, they should assemble in good order, with good will and harmony in their hearts, and they should likewise disperse. While things are done in this manner, there will be prosperity and progress, though if any outlandish doctrines are introduced or any dividing disagreement permitted, prosperity and progress will depart. They will remain while the teachings are esteemed and the doctrines hallowed, while the leaders are held worthy in loyalty and the brothers of comradeship. Progress and prosperity will not depart while the brothers are upright and steadfast, while the maiden sisters are modest and virtuous, and the married sisters are decent and decorous, while the elder brothers are wise and diligent in preserving all that is good, while the elder sisters are careful in all they do and considerate for the welfare of the younger ones. It is for the old to keep watch and ward, and for the young to dare and do. All right. The harshness of the ordinances should be mitigated with loving kindness, and when brothers or sisters are seen to be falling into the ways of wickedness, they should first be warned. After being warned, they should be reminded, and only after this should they be disciplined. Let some able and discreet person take them in hand and counsel them. When two disagree as to the teachings, this is to be the manner for reaching a decision. One shall say, "This is my opinion," while the other opponent says, "No, this opinion is better." Each shall argue with the other with friendliness, self-control, and reason, following at all times the road of common sense. There is something on which they hold a different opinion, let them try and decide first which viewpoint is best, which is clearest. All the teachings in dispute will be settled in this manner, and where there can be no settlement between two, then let them both agree upon two others. If these cannot settle the matter, then they shall choose one other whose opinion both agree to abide with. These teachings are always right, those which teach the proper channeling of the desires and urges of the body, not those which would pander to them or ignore them, those which place spiritual objectives above worldly things, those which uphold the virtues and principles of humanity and attack anything which would bring them down. Frugality is not meanness, and prudence is not fear. Wastefulness is not generosity, and weakness is not kindness. Happiness is not pleasure, and apathy is not peace. The defense of principles is not intolerance, and idealism is not prejudice. To compromise is not to surrender. To defer to the wishes of a loved one is not weakness of character. To avoid argument and discord within the family requires strength, while assertion displays inconsideration. They who stifle hastily or thoughtless words are better than they who speak according to their thoughts. They who stifle hasty or thoughtless words are better than they who speak according to their thoughts. To stand up for your rights is not necessarily right, and to do all things for peace and harmony is often wrong. The way of goodness traverses a very narrow ledge. The man who says, perhaps I am wrong, is always right. The man who says, I am certainly right, is always wrong. To avoid a fight is not cowardice, and to fight with the certainty of victory is not courage. Weak men may often fight, and strong men often run. Motive is all that matters. To judge anyone by his actions alone is to judge unfairly. Scriptures come in many tongues. They serve different purposes and vary in value, but each suits and serves a group of people in a particular stage of spiritual development. The lessons of an infant are as essential to the future as are the lessons of an older child. Each scripture gives a glimpse of the light, a spiritual revelation from a different viewpoint. But in each case, the light is the same, for there is only one light of truth. However, scriptures need interpretation, for they conceal more than they reveal. They are never just what they appear to be on the surface. If a particular scripture proclaimed that fire actually gives out cold instead of heat, and that the sun really sheds darkness instead of light, a shallow-minded person would turn from it in scorn. But this irresponsible and thoughtless attitude cannot be applied to scripture, and it would be much wiser to assume that the scripture intended to convey a meaning and message quite different from the superficially apparent one. Scripture cannot be treated like entertaining and valueless literature. Therefore, delve deeply and diligently. The only conclusion an intelligent person can come to is that all great scriptures, read properly and really understood, originate at one source. All are divinely inspired, but the clarity of vision varies considerably, as does the purity of transmission. Each suits particular needs and varying stages of development. Each provides for certain requirements and satisfies specific spiritual capacities. But in all, the essence of truth is watered down and the brilliance of the light is obscured. This is essential in all scriptures, for it is only when the divinity within is fully awakened that truth and reality can be gazed on. Then the scriptures no longer serve their purpose. More than most, these scriptures reveal only a fraction of the whole on the surface. In worldly matters, in rules of life and code of conduct and morals, in all things governing life on earth, they will be interpreted strictly according to their obvious meaning and intent. In all things pertaining to spiritual matters, the afterlife, the divinity, or not strictly concerned with earthly life and existence, they need not necessarily be interpreted literally, for no earthly medium is adequate to express such things concisely.